My geekers, my tweakers, and my goons. Welcome back to Solace. In yesterday's video, we just briefly talked about reconfiguring the self, getting back to status quo, because some events in life can kind of push us in every which direction, and sometimes we need to have a moment of recohesion to come back together. Spell that word out for me in the comments. Recohesion. Recohesion? Yes. Anyways. Today, we're going to be talking about filler episodes. Filler episodes, in my opinion, are just the days that you spend away from your main episodes. You should basically know what the fuck I mean by that. If you are acting like you don't understand what I mean by that, you're lying. And I'll explain to you how. A filler episode is that day in between plans, that day off from work. It's any time that you have that break in between from your usual routine that is taking you closer to your ideal, quote unquote. As long as you're working towards your ideal, it'll be the thing taking you closer to your ideal. So, within filler episodes, this is actually where we have what I would consider to be like 80% of our time. If we do like an 80-20 split, 70-30, whatever. It's going to be where you have the majority of your free time because your filler episodes are everything in between. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't spend that time properly, you can feel like you don't have any time at all. And you're bound to feel that way because say you were to spend a whole day just laying inside and getting caught up on like 4 different devices, like your computer, your phone, your TV, and your DS. Yeah, you're going to feel a little congested with all of the things you could be doing. And because of that, you're going to also feel like you don't have much time because your time is already everywhere. Okay, you could have started that at 12 and it's already 10 p.m. And it happens because we're not giving ourselves time. That's what it is. You're not giving yourself that time. It may feel like you're giving yourself a rest because you're laying down, but your brain is still active. It hasn't turned off since yesterday, if even then. And when this happens, it kind of prevents the recovery process that the brain needs in the same way that your body would need one after a workout. There's a certain amount of time you should be giving yourself to actually rest and enjoy that rest, even if it were to be something like a 30-minute meditation, and that just being you just laying down and not doing anything. You being awake but not doing anything is like, apparently it's one of the hardest things for some people, and also one of the best things you could be doing because you're resting. Like, okay, there's a difference between resting and resting. Actual resting requires you to be willing to actually stop doing shit. Stop doing shit. Just give it a second. But I also say that to say, sometimes when we rest a little too long and for too much. And when you have that time, that's when you should really be tapping into like, hey, let me do this real quick. Let me get this out the way. Because while if you were to lay down all day for 8 hours without actually doing anything compared to if you were to lay down 8 hours all day while just doing everything, you'd be getting actual rest. There is still like a good amount of time you could be using to do things. It's just you don't want to do something like work from your bed, because now your bed becomes a place of both comfort and work in your brain. That bed is too comfortable for it not to get overridden at a point in time. So you would do something like taking yourself out of your bed, your room, anything like that, to like get your body to upstart itself again. You see what I'm saying? And by doing little things like that, it kind of gives your brain, I've said brain like 26 times, a chance to have a break. Not to feel like everywhere it goes, it has to be doing something, because you'll burn out. And burnout is a whole nother thing. But burnout can even come out in different layers. It can affect you in different ways depending on the different times of day. And depending on your tolerance to it, you may not even feel like it is burnout, but you've probably been burnt out for like months and just disregarded it. That'll be a video later in the week, but for now, just know that a resting period requires you to be resting. Like, you have to chill out, stop touching shit, okay? Put Put your hands down. Fuck. But on the other side of that equation is the ability for you to do things that actually would benefit you and isn't just brain rot. Such as, and I brought this up yesterday, but organizing certain things in your phone, for example. If you're going to be on your phone, you might as well go through some of the things you have in there saved that you wanted to go through instead of doom scrolling or going on Instagram Reels, because that shit is like a fucking infinite Tsukiyomi. You will be caught up in that shit the duration. I'm sure it happens at work. But doing things like that isn't bad. And I wouldn't even say doom scrolling is bad, but Instagram Reels in moderation isn't even bad. But organization, I would say, unless you have like extreme forms of OCD, isn't bad. It's not going to do anything but help you clear and get all the clutter out of your fucking mind so you can progress and work better and more efficiently. So it's just a little suggestion, you know, just try it out a little bit. Might do a little something for you. But the thing with filler episodes is they're going to be like, I wouldn't even say they're the majority. I probably lied when I said that. I'm so sorry. I wouldn't even say that's the 80-20 unless your life plot line is a little bit more full of that, unfortunately. But I'd actually say the main plot line is like the thing most people are like on day to day. So like if you were to have 5 days out of the week be main plot lines, it would be like 2 days that are like, yeah, it would be like the 2 days in between that would be the filler episodes. But that is still where the majority of your free time will lie, because that's when you have the whole day to yourself. On the days where you'd be working or going to school, you're going to be caught up in your day-to-day routine to the point where like it counts in its own way as like its own type of filler, but that filler goes towards the main plot line, if you see what I'm saying. What we could also be doing is filling in those gaps with hobbies we enjoy. The shit we've been putting off. Fun things. But we have to be willing to first allow ourselves to have fun, but of course not to allow it to intrude on other aspects of life, such as those main episodes, right? So for example, with a hobby, that hobby could be the one thing you've been missing that could give you wealth, love, health, whatever the fuck you want. It could give it to you. It's just locked behind you not doing it, right? So, and this is the important thing that comes with those filler episodes. Those are where most of your hobbies and habits will lie. I guess I should have just said habits. But it's where they're going to be. And if you can start to supplement those little things you do throughout your filler episode days, such as laying down for 8 hours and instead doing like 2 hours of like whatever hobby it is that you enjoy and dedicating that time fully to enjoying it, your filler episodes are going to become a lot more enjoyable to watch. You're going to actually start to watch the filler and engage with it and be like, you know what? They were kind of cooking. I was kind of missing out this entire time. It's rare, but it can literally happen. It could be you, but you have to allow it to be you. So if you feel miserable and you feel like, well, what do I do today? Nobody wants to hang with me. I know that's happened a few times, hasn't it? Not because of who you are, just people. It's not you, it's them. Well, if it has, then guess what you could be doing? Shit by yourself. But something I've noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people have a codependency issue. So if we don't have someone to just direct all of the attention that we have for free time to something else other than ourselves, we feel like, well, let's tweak out. No. With that free time, and I trust me, I know this is way easier said than done, but it's not impossible. Dedicate that time to yourself because it's your time. Now, of course, if the occasion arises where someone wants to hang out with you, you can hang out with them, sure, do it. But you don't want to build up a fucking habit or a complex that puts you in a predicament where you, whenever you have that free time, you need to be doing something with someone else. Like, if you're by yourself, you're just fucking miserable. You do not want that. You do not want that. Will be another topic later on. But for now, do things to separate yourself from needing to do things with other people, because you don't need to. You don't. It may feel like it, but it's more so just you needing to get into the habit of being able to reflect off of yourself rather than needing someone else to reflect off of. And it's a practice, and it comes with time. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it will happen if you give the chance to. And one of the easier ways of doing that is by dedicating some time to enjoying something away from distractions and away from people that you like to do. That's the main focus of this. Just dedicating that extra time you have to things you want to do. And think about it like this. By the time you've gotten ingrained in that hobby, there will be days where you'd be like, well, no, I'd rather do this today instead of going out. Well, congratulations, because at that point, you've accomplished something a lot of people have not. And that's enjoyable, free me time. Yeah. Take a little taste. Describe that to me. What's that taste like? I know. It tastes like freedom. So take that freedom, put a little in the fridge for later. But then you take your fork and your knife, or you can use your hands if you're a little freak, and you dive in and enjoy what the fuck you have created. It's your meal. So, my geekers, my tweakers, and my goons, thank you for watching today's video, and thank you for your patience with me. Tomorrow, we will be talking about how communication is key. And it is the key. It is the only discernible factor that makes us different from It is the only discernible factor that makes us different from other animals and plants. And they even communicate. So what could I be talking about? I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, I love comments. Engagement-wise, I don't really care if you like or dislike the video, but talk to me. I want to know your opinions, thoughts, and ideas.